Hey gang, we're in here. Welcome on back to the Cade and another episode of Sports Saturday, number 48 in this series as we're closing in on that magic number of 50. And for this week, with the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs in full swing, we're going to go back to the ice for the fifth time in this series, but it's going to be the first time we do it in 3D. We're going to hit the good old Sega Dreamcast, and we're going to play a game that was one of the big challengers in the day to EA's grasp on all the major sports, not just in North America, but for the most part around the world. We are going to play NHL 2K. Now, this was the first in the series for the Dreamcast as designed by Black Box Games. It came out in North America in 2000 in February, and then hit European markets in July of that year. This game was in development for about 12 months, and it only went on to sell 140,000 units, so it's not a hugely influential game. But it was the starting point for Sega's foray into building a game catalog that could potentially compete with Sony at the time, and Nintendo, who was still dealing with the end of the Super Nintendo and also working its way into the GameCube. Now, what we're going to do in this game is we are simply going to play an exhibition. And by playing the exhibition, we're just going to pick, for the moment, with the playoffs going on, we're going to take two teams that are currently in the playoffs. We're going to take the Florida Panthers, and we are going to put them up against my Boston Bruins. And before we go too far into this, one thing that we need to do is we need to put together the game settings, because this game we'll play it on Pro. We'll keep it at 5 minutes because that should have it run for about a half an hour, which is what we want. But we want to turn on icing. We want to turn on offside. Try saying that 3 times fast. We're going to keep the 2-line pass off because nowadays that's not outlawed in the NHL. Obviously, penalties are on. Fighting is on. And we are going to set the line changes to auto. Now, what line changes are, if you're not familiar with hockey, is that each team has a certain number of players. If I remember right, they've got about 20 players on a side. But what they do is they set them up in what are called shifts. And what the line changes do is that they allow the team, because it's such a fast-paced game that players burn so much energy, then rather than sending 5 guys out there for an entire game, they're allowed to get off the ice and swap out for fresher players. The only players who stay on the ice for the entire game, if they do well enough, are the goalies. Now, this game, when it came out, ended up being fairly well ranked. It has an aggregate game ranking of 76%. And looking at it graphically, it is very much of its time. We've got a lot of angular polygonal graphics, which you have to remember, this game is near as makes no difference, a quarter of a century old. That was the best we got. The skeletons and the figure design were not as well-rounded, and the engines were not as polished as they are nowadays. But as I've always said about a good sports game, the overall aim for any sports game designer is how you put together the presentation of the entire sport, whether it be football, basketball, hockey, whatever.
We start the first period.
So we'll start with the face-off.
Sends the puck ahead to Mellenby.
And we immediately go to this 3/4 view, which I actually like, as opposed to the traditional top-down view, which we had in NHL Hockey 94, or even the horizontal view we had in Ice Hockey or Blades of Steel.
Hennigan lets it go. Feeds it to Mellenby. Mellenby winds up and lets it go. Defoe passes the puck over to McLaren.
Ooh.
Mellenby with a blast. Defoe
almost gave that puck away.
Now Florida passes the puck ahead to Mellenby. Mellenby with a wrist shot.
Now we got to get moving.
Across to Mellenby. Andrechuk picks up the puck.
So that graphic that came up
plays it ahead to Allison. He takes it in over the line.
Was Florida doing a line change. And as you can
Croswell.
see,
Plays it over to Niedermeyer.
each team has its own, or each squad has its own energy gauge.
You wonder where teams get their team colors? The Bruins color scheme was chosen to match the colors of the owner's chain of stores. No focus groups then.
So we're back to having a face-off here.
Niedermeyer moves out of his end.
And
He
one of the
sends
things we
the
have
puck
to
up
keep in
Kozlov.
mind of with offsides on,
Shepard takes a wrist shot. An easy save. Niedermeyer got leveled.
we've got to make sure that whoever has the puck is the
Thornton
first one
brings it
across
out of his
this
end.
blue
Number
line.
22 takes it up through center. Thornton with a cannon. A good save.
Because
Vernon passes the puck
if
across
not,
ice to Kozlov.
if somebody without the puck goes
Niedermeyer
across
passes
and
the
we
puck
pass
across ice to
the puck
Shepard.
over
Shepard shoots.
the blue line, then that will be an automatic offsides call.
Van Impe plays it ahead to Samsonov. He brings the puck up through center. He brings it in. Florida
Whoop,
with the
gave
puck.
it back the
He
wrong
carries
way.
the puck
It's
out
not
of
where
his
I
end.
wanted to go
He
with
takes
it.
the puck up through center. He comes in over the line.
Now, to pass
And
in
a
this
slot to
game,
Kabasha with a wrist shot. Defoe
As
sends
Defoe
it
was
up
able to make a
Bork.
nice save
Feeds
there.
it up to number 22. Thornton takes it out of his end. Number 22 brings the
You
puck
use
in
the
over
A button
line.
to pass.
Number
The A
18
button
carries
also
it up through
changes
center.
players
Number
for you.
18 takes a wrist shot.
And then to shoot, it's the X
McLaren
button.
gets dumped. Murray with a wrist shot. A good save. Bork carries it out of his end. Andrechuk takes the puck in over the line. Boston penalty shot.
You ever see 18,000 people?
Oh, we got a
on the
penalty
red
shot
line?
coming in.
You do during a penalty shot.
So Andrechuk
Man,
was
is
in the
it
process
exciting.
of shooting when he got hit.
Andrechuk shoots it. An easy save.
And he got saved. Now, the problem with a game like this is that the way the mechanics are, the goalies can be extremely
Boston
difficult
gets possession.
to
He comes
find
up
a
through
way
center. He
to get
skates in over the
by.
line. Andrechuk lets it go. Vernon feeds
Because
the
you've
puck
got to be
ahead
able to
Mellenby.
aim the
He comes out
shot
of his end.
and then
He takes
fire
it up
the
through
shot
center.
off.
He takes it in over the line. Then the slot to Bure. Whitney with a shot. Defoe plays it across to Andrechuk. He takes it out of his end. He sends it up to Allison. He carries it in over the line. Gill taken out of the play. Now sends it ahead to Niedermeyer. Passes the puck up to Shepard. He carries it up through
Got
center.
the puck
Number
away.
11 brings
Oh,
the
we
puck
got a
up through
one-on-one
center.
here.
Number 11 on a breakaway. Number 11 shoots. Vernon passes it up
Now, they
to
don't
Shepard.
have
He
everybody's
carries it out of his
name
end. He
programmed
brings the
in, I
puck up
can
through center.
hear, for the announcers, but I like that they're
And
got
that's
enough of them,
icing.
and that's an icing call.
Byron Defoe's career is
So,
one of steady progress.
If the puck
Between
goes from the middle of the
1995
ice or the other side of the
1999,
ice
his
all the way
goals
down
against
and nobody
average
touches
went
it
from
and it
a
crosses the red line by the
3.87
goalie,
to a slender
that's called icing. So they bring
1.99.
it back down the ice to the opposing side,
Pitlick brings the puck out
and
of
we
his
got to
end.
start back
Now
from
Boston,
here.
stopped by Kozlov. Hines feeds it ahead to number 11. Carter takes the puck up through center. He comes in over the line. Carter fires it.
Tried to get that one away
Passes
and
the
couldn't
puck
do
to
it.
Sweeney. Sweeney shoots it
Shoots
for the
that
point.
one went wide.
Number 18 sends it across ice to Parrish.
Now, if you
Number
use
48 carries
the
the puck up through center.
B button, that gives you a bit of a sprint.
Number 18
But
sends the
it
puck
is
up
gonna
to
burn all the
Kabasha.
energy out of
Parrish
your
through center. Bork carries
players
the puck out of his
faster
end.
because
Takes
they're
the puck
trying to
up
go
through center.
quicker.
He takes it in over the line. Plays the puck to Murphy. Murphy blasts it. Vernon feeds the puck ahead to Hedican. Parrish out of his end. He passes the puck across to Kabasha. Kabasha shoots it. Allison steps out of his end. He carries the puck up through center. He carries it in over the line. DeMaio lets it go.
DeMaio tried to let it go, and that one got saved.
Vernon sends the puck up to Mellenby. Hedican sends the puck over to Whitney. He comes up through center. He brings it in. Passes it across to Bure. Sends the puck to Hedican. Hedican with a shot.
Hedican did it with a shot, and that goes wide.
Stala dumped.
Pitches this one back in. Defoe will pick it up.
Defoe feeds it ahead to Andrechuk. He takes the puck out of his end. He takes
And the
it up
sad
through
part
center.
about
He
a
comes
game
in
like
over the
this is
line.
it reminds me of the
Wilson
time
sends
when the
puck up to Whitney.
Bruins
Mellenby comes out of his end. He
had a
carries it up through
squad
center.
that was
Mellenby
expected to be
shoots.
competing potentially for a Stanley Cup title, and they just never did.
Number
Because they
22
had guys
gets
like
out of
Joe
his end.
Thornton, who
Wilson
was
takes
still
control of the puck.
in his prime at that
Thornton
point as a
takes a wrist
center,
shot. An easy save.
and Sergei
Vernon passes the
Samsonov,
puck
who
ahead to
was a
Kozlov. He
really
brings the puck up
popular
through center.
winger,
He skates in over the line. Kozlov
who
with a
looked
wrist
like he
shot.
was going to be a
good
guy
save.
who could score a lot of goals.
Samsonov skates out of
And
his
these
end.
two
Takes the
together
puck up
especially
through
would be
center.
like
Takes it
a
in over the
really
line.
strong
Thornton
pair.
shoots it. The puck
And it
now
just
controlled
never
by
came to
Niedermeyer.
fruition.
Shepard
If
passes
I remember
the puck
right,
across ice
Thornton
to
got
Kozlov.
into a
Carries
trade
the puck up
or
through
a
center.
contract
Kozlov lets it
dispute,
go.
and ended up going all the way out to San Jose, where he played the majority of his
Got level.
career.
Spacek takes a wrist shot. Defoe
He
feeds
played
it up
out
to
there
number
longer
11,
than he
and they
did
were
in
offside.
Boston. But Samsonov, unfortunately, if I remember right, he got injured quite a bit and just was not as effective after about his second or third year in the league.
A good save. Defoe sends it ahead to Carter. And time
And
runs
that's the
out
end of
as
the first
comes
period,
to
and
an
we've
end.
got no
At the end
score.
of the first period, the score
Now,
is
in
the
their
Bruins
review,
nothing,
GamePro said
the
that
Panthers
while this
nothing.
game is a sight to behold, once you play it, you might not want to be holding on to it for long. Gamers weaned on the speed and control of NHL 2000 and its series may find NHL 2K a bit slow and odd for their liking. Gamers looking for a graphical spectacular, however, won't likely find much better. In another GamePro review, it was said that for its first season, NHL 2K put out a respectable but middling effort. Hockey fans may be willing to cut the rookies some slack, but
Number
next year
11
they'll be
skates up
expecting
through
a
center.
lot more.
He
And I
carries it
will
in
say
over
that
the
this
line.
game is
Number
a
11
little
with a
bit
shot,
on
an
the
easy
slow
save.
side.
Vernon feeds the puck up to number 29.
It's
He takes it
not
out of his
quite
hand.
as
Hines
kinetic
feeds
as you
it up
might
to
think a
number 11.
game of this type could be.
Worrell shoots a good
But
save.
it doesn't
Defoe
necessarily
feeds it
mean
ahead to
it's
Hines.
super
He
slow
carries it out of
either. I
his
mean,
hand.
we're
He
not
comes up
talking
through center.
Lakers
He brings
versus
it in.
Celtics in the
Plays
NBA
puck over to
playoffs
Carter.
slow.
Carter shoots it.
That was like
Vernon
trying to play
sends the puck up to
basketball
Laus.
in an ice flow.
Number 11 moves out of his end, feeds the puck ahead to Carter. He comes in over the line. A good save. Now Florida. He feeds it up to Worrell. Now feeds it ahead to Laus. Laus lets it go.
Andrew Chuck will pick this one up.
Andrechuk brings it out of his end. Florida with the puck.
Uh-oh.
Bure carries the
Bure
puck
on a
in
breakaway.
over the line. Bure with a shot. Defoe feeds the puck ahead to Sweeney. Allison gets rattled. Sweeney takes it out of his hand. The play
And
is
that's an
offside.
offside because I got it ahead to DeMeo just as he crossed the blue line.
Moving from expansion club to an established team in the Eastern Conference.
Sweeney up to Andrechuk. Pitlick feeds the puck ahead to Bure. Now feeds it across ice to Whitney. Sweeney slaps it.
And fired that from the blue line.
And the play
We
is
got a
whistled
delayed
down, and
penalty,
we have
so
a
it'll
penalty.
be our first power play, and it's for hooking on Yaroslav Spacek. So we have a one-player advantage for 2 minutes, while Spacek sits in the penalty box. So it'll be 5-on-4, which means we need to capitalize on this and put the biscuit in the basket.
McLaren moves up through center. He brings the puck up through center. Samsonov brings it in. Samsonov shoots a good save.
Tried the wrister,
He
and that
smothers
one
the
didn't
puck
go.
to stop the play.
And we'll have another face-off. But the one thing that's always irked me about hockey games, and it's not just
Picked up by
games like
Hines.
NHL 2K, but all hockey games, is the physics involved in shooting the puck. Because
McLaren
as you're sitting
carries it
there
out of his
trying
hand.
to
He takes
steer
the puck
and you're
up through
trying to
center.
move
Carter
down the
steps in over
ice,
the line. Carter shoots it.
once you get to a
Vernon
spot
passes
where
the
you
puck
want to
ahead
be
Bure.
able
He brings the
to
puck out of his end. He skates in over the line. Passes it to Whitney. Whitney rifles it. Defoe plays the
Get
puck
a
up
shot
to
on
Carter.
goal.
He takes the puck out of his end.
You have to
Carries the puck up through center.
completely
He takes it in over the line. Carter with a wrist shot. An easy save. Vernon plays the
redetermine
puck
how
ahead
you
to
want the
Bure.
puck to go, how hard you want to hit it, and it all involves the same stuff. You got to be able to aim with your left stick. You've got to fire with one button.
Samsonov
while you're
brings
trying
the
to
puck
move.
out of his end. He comes up through center. Carter comes in over the line. Carter takes a wrist shot.
Now, I
picks
could
up
have
the
if
puck.
I'd been smart there.
Defoe up to Samsonov.
Try to pass it
He
off. We
carries
got
the puck out of his end. He takes it up through
just
center,
under a minute
sends
in
it
this
ahead
power
to Carter.
play.
Whitney feeds it ahead to Bure. Bure tees it up. A good save. Bure lets it go. An easy save. Defoe passes the puck up to number 22.
Oh, and Elarana just bulldozed him.
Plays it to Bure. Bure with a wrist shot. The puck picked up by Samsonov. In the slot to Whitney. McLaren now has the puck. Whitney with a shot from the point. An easy save.
Wow, the Panthers are on the
gets
shorthanded
Whitney
attack
takes a
here.
wrist shot.
They're trying everything they can to put it in and get a shorthanded
Hines
goal.
Takes the puck out of his end. Florida gets possession. Plays it across to number 22.
Oh,
Number
and
22 with
Elaranta
a
had
wrist
an
shot.
open
Carter
look
taken
there.
out of the play. McLaren shoots it from the point. Bure across ice to Whitney. Samsonov winds up and lets it go. Florida with the puck.
Thing was, I wasn't trying to
Passes
shoot
the
there. I
puck
was
up
trying to get
Whitney.
around and
Comes out
pass
of his
it.
end. Plays it across
So
to
the
Bure.
power play is
Bure with a
over.
shot. Carter plays it ahead to Hines. Hines carries the puck out of his end.
And while we still have our power play
Sends it
squad
to Shepard.
on the
He
ice,
takes
which
it
means
out
we've
of
got to
his
be able to
end.
get
Kozlov
fresher
gets
players
in over the
on.
line. Kozlov alone on the breakaway.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold on to the puck
And he
here for a
covers the
minute
puck
and give him a
to stop
chance
the
to
play.
do that.
Anson Carter. At first glance, he
Because
seems
all
like
my
an
guys
awkward
were pretty
skater,
much wiped
but don't
out.
be fooled. This kid can turn on a dime.
So we got about 90 seconds to go in the second period. We still haven't scored yet.
And we're going to get a
And
penalty.
now we're going to be shorthanded, as it'll be 2 minutes for hooking for Rob DeMaio.
Boston penalty to number 19, Rob DeMaio.
2 minutes. Bork plays the puck up to McLaren. He carries it out
So
of
what
his
we
end.
want to do is
He
we
brings
want to
the
get
puck
across
up
the
center.
red
McLaren
line
with a
and then
cannon.
just dump it in.
Spacek sends it ahead to Whitney. He takes the puck up through center. Millenby skates in over the line.
Sent that one wide.
Kavashev shoots it from the point. A good save. Defoe feeds it up to Gill. He brings the puck out of his end. He carries the puck up through center. Gill shoots it.
Dump this one back in.
Kavashev passes the puck ahead to Whitney.
Because if you're past the
Now
red
Boston.
line,
He takes the puck out
and
of
you're
his
trying
end.
to kill the
Whitney
penalty.
moves in over the line. Parrish with a wrist shot. Defoe up to Sweeney. He carries the puck out of his end. He comes up through center. He comes in over the line. Sweeney
then this
rifles it from the
prevents
point.
icing, so now you can get
Kavashev was hit
further
hard.
down the ice. Although
Spacek
Andrechuk's sitting
sends it
back
ahead to
there
Mellenby. Kavashev
behind
sends it
the
up to
Florida
Whitney.
net.
Comes out of his end. Parrish brings it in over the line. Parrish gets a breakaway. Bork stopped. Mellenby takes a wrist shot. Bork out of his end. He takes it up through center. He skates in over the line. Bork with a wrist shot. And to slow things down, he covers the puck.
Being in the Eastern
So we were trying for the
Conference,
shorthanded
Boston
goal there
Bruins
with Bork.
have always been an old-fashioned hockey
And it's funny seeing Ray
Big
Bork in a
players who
Boston
battle
uniform
hard
still. He'd
and go
been
to
with
the
the
corner.
team my entire childhood. But he didn't go on to win a Stanley Cup until he went to the Colorado Avalanche at the end of his career, if I remember right, in 2001.
Long lead pass to
He
Burke.
finally won the Cup
Now sends it
with
across the knee to
Colorado
Burke.
and then promptly retired.
Bork takes it up through center. He takes it in over the line. Bork takes a wrist shot. Vernon plays it ahead to Kozlov. And time
And that is
runs
the
out
end of
as
the
the
second period,
comes
so
to an
still
end.
no
At the
score,
end
but
of the
we will
second
be
period,
on
the score is the Bruins
the power
nothing,
play,
the
or at least
Panthers
Florida will
nothing.
be, for 42 seconds when the third period gets underway.
The third period is ready to begin as the players take their positions on the ice.
Oh, and I was trying to get the puck with Samson
Mellenby
off, and he
takes it
couldn't
in
get over
the
there.
line. McLaren steps out of his end. He carries it up through center. Samsonov carries it in over the line. They're calling a penalty.
And now
We'll see
we'll
who
get a
it
power
is.
play again for hooking one more time. This time with Ray Whitney going to the box. So we'll see if we can take advantage here with,
To number 14,
what,
Ray Whitney.
not even 15 seconds gone in this final period.
Wilson plays the puck up to Parrish. Sweeney dumped. Parrish passes it across ice to Kavasha. Sends it across to Kavasha. Kavasha lets it go.
Get up ahead to
Sweeney
Sweeney.
comes out of his end. Number 22 carries it up through center. He brings it in. Andrechuk with the howitzer.
Andrechuk
Picked out
tried
by
to fire
Kavasha.
off the
Parrish
one-timer,
brings
it
the puck
didn't
up through
work.
center. He comes in over the line.
A one-timer
To
is one
Kavasha.
where
Saved
the...
by the post.
Oh,
It
and now
seems
we're going to
there's
get a
penalty.
5-on-3 as they'll be hooking again. So a one-timer is where one player will pass it over to a teammate, and that teammate, as soon as it gets to him, will just crank off a slap shot.
To number 21, Mark Parrish. 2 minutes for a book.
I don't know who coined the term one-timer, but it's something
McLaren
I've seen
gets out of
happen
his
a
end.
lot
He
more
brings the
in
puck up
hockey
through
over
center.
the
Carter
years.
brings the puck in over the line. Spacek grabs the puck.
This is going to go all the way down the ice, and this will be... Nope, won't be an icing.
Carter skates out of his end. He takes the puck up through center. He skates in over the line. Feeds the puck over to McLaren. McLaren with a shot.
McLaren tried to fire that one
And
off,
he'll
and
hang
now they're
on to
going
it
to
to
sit
stop
on
the
it.
play.
In 1992, Byron Dafoe had what must be one of the shortest NHL debuts on record. The Washington Capitals put him in goal for 1 minute. He faced no shots and was pulled and did not play another game all year.
Spacek passes to
I didn't
Burke.
know that about Byron Dafoe. Then again, I also forgot that Defoe was a goalie for the
Murray with a
Bruins
wrist
at one
shot.
point in his career.
Boston gets possession. He passes the puck ahead to Andrechuk. Bure takes the puck in over the line. Bure shoots. Now Boston. Now feeds it up to Andrechuk.
Now we got to take
Carries the
advantage
puck up
here
through
because
center.
we got
He
a
takes it in over the
two-man
line.
advantage.
A good save. And he'll cover the puck to stop the play.
And very, very
Red
rarely
Hennigan
do you
is
get a
fast enough
5-on-3
that even if he
advantage
gets
like
beat,
this.
He can still keep up with the guy and try and steer him off the net.
Because it means that we've got 2 extra guys who can't be defended. So as long as we've got a chance to get a breakaway, or you can get 2 guys out in the clear.
Bure plays the puck back to Spacek. Bure takes a wrist shot. An easy save.
And we should be able to get this, but we're not able to
Bure
at the
shoots
moment.
it. A good save. Defoe sends it ahead to Hines. He comes up through center. He carries it in over the line. Feeds the puck back to number 22. Florida gets possession.
And now we've got 10 seconds to go in this 5-on-3 situation, and now we will be down to
Bure
a
with a shot. A
5-on-4.
good save. Carter moves out of his end. He takes it up through center. He brings it in.
For about 30
Now
seconds.
Florida sends the puck ahead to Spacek. Stopped by Carter. Bure brings it out of his end. He carries it up through center. The puck is sent offside.
But we got bailed out by an offsides call. So with 2:37 to go in the third, we've got 20 seconds left on this power play. We've got nothing to show for it, as neither side has been able to
Andrechuk
notch a
feeds it
goal.
over to Thornton. The puck picked up by Whitney. Sends it to Niedermeyer. It
Off
hits
the post.
Defoe sends it up to Allison. He brings
You
the puck
heard
up
the
through center.
ping.
He comes in over the line. Allison shoots. Vernon feeds it ahead to Whitney. Hedican feeds it up to
And
Whitney.
now we're going to go back to 5-on-5. So the power plays yielded absolutely nothing.
Bork takes it out of his end.
That's one of the
Allison takes
frustrating
puck
things
up
about a
through
game
center.
like
He
this
skates
is
it
that
over the line. Thornton shoots it. Vernon plays it ahead to Niedermeyer. Bork lets it go. Play is
Yep, now
offside,
be
and the
offsides
play
because I
is
sent it
done.
back across the blue line. Like I said, that's one of the aggravating things about the mechanics and the physics of a hockey game. Is that trying to set it up where when you are ready to take a
Sweeney
shot,
sends the puck up to
and you're
Andrechuk.
able to take a shot,
Allison carries it out of his end. He takes the puck up through center. He takes it in over the line. DeMille with a shot.
then it's able to get by the
Vernon feeds
goalie
it
and
ahead to Parrish. He brings the
light
puck out
the
of his
lamp.
end. He carries the puck up through center. He carries it in over the line. Parrish fires it. Defoe plays the
But
puck
Florida's
across
having
field.
the same problem where they
He
can't
takes the
get
puck
by
out of
our
his end.
goalie
Now
either.
feeds
We're
the
just
puck ahead to number
stonewalling each
48.
other.
Play is stopped for an offside call.
So we got a minute 41 to put a goal on the board. And like I figured, we're closing in on, we're just past 23 minutes in this game. So yeah, about a half an hour is about as long as a standard game takes. Now this one might run a little long, we'll see. Because if we go to overtime, which tends to be how it goes in
Murphy
games
brings the
like
puck
this.
out of his end. He comes up through center. He brings it in. Wilson picks up the puck. Plays it up to Laus. Number 29 takes the puck out of his end. He comes in over the line. McLaren carries the puck out of his end. Bakes
Oh,
carries
but now
the
we got
puck
a
in over the
breakaway.
line. Bakes blasts it.
And it
he
still
will
went
cover the
right
puck,
off
and
his
we have a
knees.
stoppage in play.
The
Like I was
Bruins
trying to
franchise
deke him
has been
going
in a
one way or the
rebuilding
other,
mode
and it
lately,
just would
with
not
the main
go.
areas of retooling being the goal and the front line.
Worrell tees it up from the point.
All right,
Ford
so
passes
see if
it
we
up to
can't get
Carter.
down
He
the
carries
ice
the puck
here.
out of his
Whoop.
end. Bure feeds the puck ahead to Whitney. Bure slaps it.
We're under a minute.
Passes the puck up to Whitney. Got leveled by Bork. He comes out of his end. Number 11 through center. He takes it in over the line. Boston with the puck. Gets rattled by Svela. Across ice to Whitney. He takes it out of his end. Bure comes up through center.
And now here
Bure
goes
has
Pavel
a breakaway.
one-on-one.
Bure shoots.
Nope.
Defoe passes the puck ahead to Van In. Plays it ahead to Andrechuk. He carries it up through center. Over to DeMille. He brings it in. DeMille shoots it. A good save.
DeMaio's shot doesn't get there.
Vernon up to Niedermeyer. Picked up by Allison. Shepard out of his end. He brings the puck up through center. Andrechuk skates up through center.
Oop.
Kozlov
That's the
sends
only
the
problem
puck
with
up
this
to
three-quarter
Niedermeyer.
view is that it
Takes the
gets
puck up through
easy to
center.
lose
He
view,
comes in
sight
over
of the
line.
ice, or
Boston
sight of the
gets
puck,
possession.
rather.
He carries it out of his end. DeMille moves up through center. He skates in over the line. Simpson plays the puck ahead to Shepard. DeMaio now has the puck. DeMaio rifles
That
it.
one kicked away, and we are going
Let's
to go
And
to
time runs out.
overtime.
The period comes to an end. At the end of the third period, the score is the Bruins nothing, the Panthers nothing.
So we got a 5-minute overtime here.
We're heading into
try
overtime,
and
ladies
match
and gentlemen.
one goal.
I can't wait to see more of this great game. Gerard sends the puck up to Samsonov. He takes it in over the line. Samsonov with a shot. Vernon plays it ahead to Shepard. The puck picked up by Samsonov. He carries it in over the line. An easy save.
Oh, and I tried to pass off to
plays it
Vernon
up
and didn't
close.
get
Now
there.
plays the puck ahead to Shepard. Kozlov brings it in. Passes the puck back to Shepard. Shepard tees it up. Gerard brings it up through center. He brings it in. Vernon passes the puck ahead to Kozlov. He takes it up through center. He comes in over the line. Feeds it to Shepard.
Oh, there it is.
At the end of the game, the score is the
There's the
Bruins
one-timer. They went to
Panthers
Bury, and
1.
Bury went right by Defoe to win it.
Number 16.
So to the surprise of nobody, we go to overtime, and once again, we come up short.
And by number 32, Mike
But that, everybody, is NHL 2K for the Sega Dreamcast from 2000. Now, let's go through the usual questions. Is this a good game? On the one hand, I can see that it definitely has the potential to be. But I agree with the assessments of the reviewers in that it is a little sluggish. And I think if the later versions had a bit more kineticness to them and allowed for a bit more free flow of the players up and down the ice, I think this could be a really, really strong game. That it only sold 140,000 units is fairly telling, but then it also speaks to how few people were really interested in the Dreamcast at the time. And if you're not familiar with the Sega Dreamcast, the real downfall of it was too good of a console for the period. It was really powerful. As you see, the graphics were far from terrible. And the presentation, the sound, the ability to load a game, as far as performance went, it was a really, really strong system. And I can say that as somebody who had one in their house. My sister was really into the Dreamcast, whereas I was predominantly a PlayStation gamer. But it got to the point where after she decided to move on to different things, she ended up bequeathing her Dreamcast to me, and I ended up we kept playing games on it until I think I eventually traded it in with a bunch of other stuff for a PS3. So I got to see firsthand the capabilities of this console, but for what it had available and what its capability was, that it just did not really get a fair shake by comparison to the Dreamcast and even the GameCube in some ways. And we also did have the original Xbox on the horizon as well. And you have to keep in mind that by 2000, we were really, really getting into the era of PC gaming and what the capabilities of the PC were graphically and computationally. And that impacted Sega as well. Now, normally you would say, is this a game you could make today? Well, they still make hockey games today. Could they make a game that can compete with EA, who still is the predominant supplier of hockey IP in the world? I absolutely don't see why not. But similar to what anybody who wants to come up with a football game would have to do, not only would you have to compete with Madden, you would have to find a way to get the licensing and the rights to be able to make a game of your own. And that is not as easy as it was 25 years ago. Now, I am not a business major, nor do I really understand IP law to a greater extent of things like who gets the rights and who doesn't. You would think that in a perfect world, you would want to have multiple developers being able to create a competitive market by having titles that can compete with monoliths like EA. Well, as we've seen, it doesn't work that way. But could it be done now? It certainly could. But with the state of video games as a whole and how few studios there seem to be are able to step up and want to create content like this, it seems like any opportunities are really lost at this point, and that EA is going to continue to be the one and the only one that will create hockey games along with games like Madden and NBA stuff. So, which is a shame, because, you know, for playing a title like this that I didn't have a whole lot of interest in back in 2000, and was wanting to give it a look-see today, there is a lot of potential here. And I think that's something that, you know, you get the right people in the right situations, and there's no reason why it couldn't be done to a better degree now, especially with new-gen graphics and the capabilities of what most game engines are able to provide nowadays. I think you can make an absolutely fantastic hockey game that could be on par, if not better, than whatever you're getting currently from EA. And I say that as somebody who hasn't played EA sports game of any sort in a really long time. But like I said, that is Sports Saturday for this weekend. If you've been enjoying the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, ring the bell to be notified of new episodes. We will have Sucker Punch Sunday for you tomorrow, where we play a classic fighting or fighting platform-based game from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation. Also be on the lookout. Our new playthrough will be starting up this next week. I can't give you an exact date for when they're going to be posted. We are recording episodes now. It's a matter of getting those wrapped up, getting a nice bow put on them, and then being able to put those out for you guys to enjoy. Be sure to follow us on social media through Instagram and Threads at Ronan's RetroCade. Help spread the word about us so we can continue to make this channel bigger and better. And if there is a game you would like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, or MegaDrive, SNK Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below or drop me a line on social media. It can be any game for those consoles that you want. My name is Ronan. It has been great to spend the Sports Saturday with you. Be safe, be well, happy gaming. We'll see you tomorrow for Sucker Punch Sunday. Bye.